Can you market your cattle online and have success and not have it cost too darn much? The answer to that one is a resounding yes. Crew, let's ranch it up. Good day, everyone, and thanks for riding with us on this all-new episode of the Ranch It Up Radio Show. I'm Jeff Tigger Erhardt.
And I'm Rebecca Wanner, a.k.a. Bat.
A big thank you to our partners, the American Gelbvieh Association, the Tri-State Livestock News, the Farmer and Rancher Exchange, and the Fence Post, Westway Feed Products, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Dakota Cowboy, Allied Genetic Resources, LivestockMarket.com, EquineMarket.com, AuctionTime.com, RFD TV, and Wrangler. So everyone that has been showing pictures of their gardens this year, Marty Ropp, I'm picking on you on this one. We have had zero success.
Oh, it's been horrible. We aren't even going to be those folks that, they joke about this is the month of leave zucchini on the back porch. Don't worry, you're not getting any from Tigger and I.
Right? I mean, this has just been really a tough year. I don't know what's going on. So those of you that have had luck in your gardens, congratulations. And those people that just insist on just keep digging. Marty Ropp, I'm picking on you. Cow country news. The cow stuff.
Our top story, Harriet Hageman, a Republican congresswoman from Wyoming, has introduced the Country of Origin Labeling Enforcement Act of 2023. The bill would bar beef retailers from labeling foreign beef as an American-made product by defining U.S.-produced beef as coming from animals exclusively born, raised, slaughtered, and packaged in the United States. The bill would fine processors $5,000 per pound of beef illegally labeled as made in the USA. The Biden administration in March announced a proposed rule that would allow the voluntary product of USA or made in the USA label claim to be used on meat, poultry, and egg products only when they are derived from animals born, raised, slaughtered, and processed in the United States. The current rule allows for products to use the labels if the animals were processed in the United States, regardless of where they were raised. The Biden proposal received immediate backlash from industry and from Canada, who contend the bill, while voluntary, would ultimately discriminate against cattle traded between the two countries and Mexico and cost thousands of jobs. Hageman's bill has received bipartisan support in the House, as well as from groups such as RCAF, U.S. Cattlemen's Association, and the Farm Action Fund.
Now, I, like many of you, support said act. I do think that we need to have some sort of labeling that separates American, USA, meat products, poultry, eggs, the whole thing. I think it all kind of falls in the same bucket, that it needs to be labeled from meat that comes in from other countries. Now, not just meat that comes in from other countries affects the prices, but here's the big thing is a lot of those beef products that come in from foreign nations, they do not have the same health and management protocols that we do when it comes to diseases and monitoring. So that's a big one. And personally, I really support this one. What else you got for us?
Next on the plate, you might say, patrons of Charlie's Steakhouse in Orlando can now order a whole-cut plant-based steak. Israel's Chunk Foods said in a news release.
Oh, I'm going to go all over the boards in this one.
I'm keeping my mouth shut. I'm trying on this one. The steak labeled as the FU filet mignon, freaking unbelievable plant-based by Chunk, lists for $69, according to the Upscale Eatery's online menu. Seth Miller, Talk of the Town's vice president and COO, said that they have been searching for over 15 years for a plant-based option for guests that meets their standards. Charlie's is one of 6 restaurants in Central Florida owned by the Talk of the Town restaurant group. Charlie's has committed to buying 100,000 units from Chunk and plans to roll out the company's steak alternative to at least 2 other Talk of the Town establishments by October, according to reports from Business Insider.
Okay, so here's the dealio on this one. Remember, this was, 130 episodes ago that you and I went to Burger King and we had the Impossible Burger.
Yes.
And we tried it.
We did it on air.
Yes, we tried it. I opened it up. I talked about this thing. I tried it on air. And I'm out. And here's the thing. I don't want to throw our plant-based friends under the bus, those other protein sources by any stretch of the imagination, but beef is beef and plants are plants, right? End of discussion.
I agree with you, and I'm glad you did bring that up because I do know many of you producers, you raise beef and you have crops as well. You are diversified, so you are winning on one and losing on the other, and you hope at the end there's money in the bank. Regardless, though, I think it comes back to the marketing of something.
Right.
You should not be, in my opinion, this is my opinion, be able to use a word that is meat that talks about a muscle that is cooked and sold as something that is actually a plant.
And I don't think they should be beside each other either.
Right.
In the grocery stores.
Exactly.
If that's what somebody wants to do and that's what somebody wants to offer, that is okay. Now, personally, I got to be honest, I have kind of a hard time believing that for 15 years the customers have been looking for a plant-based alternative when it comes to steak. I mean, come on. Could you imagine a plant-based ribeye?
No.
Or a filet mignon like you said in this story. I can't personally imagine.
Some of us might sit here and shake our heads too. At the end of the day, then, if you are having the craving for such a thing and you are vegan or a vegetarian, then by golly, just enjoy the real thing.
All right, now let's move on to something else, shall we? In other news, let's talk some cattle sales, and then coming up after the break, we're going to talk about some marketing alternatives, specifically online, and using a lot of these in combination with maybe traditionally how we have been marketing our calves. Now, speaking of sales, speaking of quality replacement heifers, you want the good kind, you want the southern kind. Let's hear from the Florida Cattlemen's Association Quality Replacement Heifer Sale.
This is Cracker Johnson with the Florida Cattlemen's Association. The 29th annual FCA Quality Heifer Sale in memory of Bill Barthel, presented by Florida Heritage Beef. The sale is hosted by the Arcadia Stockyards in Arcadia, Florida, Friday, August 25th, and the first female will enter the ring at 1 o'clock. Consigners include Spur Landing Cattle, Longino Ranch, Kemper Cattle Company, Cow Creek Cattle, Eagle Island Ranch, Mo Brangus, Lightsey Cattle Company, Walpole Cattle Company, Williamson Cattle Company, Perry Cattle Ranch, Dixie Cattle Company, Dees Brothers, Philip Crawford, and many more. The sale boasts a great offering of Brangus, Beefmaster, Gertz, and other Brahma and Angus influenced females and will include bred and open heifers. Buyers will have a chance to win the $1,000 bull credits from both R.A. Brown Ranches and Gene Plus. Also, there'll be a drawing for a spring gobbler hunt on Buck Island Ranch and a backpack from King Ranch Saddle Shop and many more. Sponsored by Florida Heritage Beef, Finco Farms, Datamars, and Gallagher. For more information, call Kevin Escobar at 813-629-8049 or Cracker Johnson at 352-535-5320. Or look us up on Facebook, Florida Cattlemen's Association Quality Heifer Sale. Thank you.
That's the FCA Quality Replacement Heifer Sale presented by Florida Heritage Beef. For more information, again, you can check them out on Facebook, the FCA Quality Replacement Heifer Sale. It's coming up Friday, August 25th. We'll have more information on that sale coming up. But first, we need to take this quick commercial break, and we'll be back with more of the Ranch It Up Radio show right after this. It's called sustainability, and we all need it in the cow herd to remain profitable. Sustainability starts with the cow, and it's found in the maternal strength of Gelbvieh and Balancer females. It's hard to imagine, but weaning time will be here before you know it, and we're going to be faced with how are we going to replace those culled females, and what are we going to replace them with? Well, the answer is real simple. Create sustainability with Gelbvieh and Balancer females. Smart, reliable, profitable. Before you purchase your next set of bulls or females, remember this. The seed stock business is about genetic improvement and customer service. Allied Genetic Resources understands this as well as anyone. Marty Ropp with Allied.
That's our charge as seed stock producers is people look at us and you've got to make genetics that work better for us. We see that charge, we understand that charge, and we're going to use all the tools we can to get there.
Allied Genetic Resources, where the mission is commercial customer success. Period. We've talked about Pharmatan and its success over the past several years, usually encouraging you to feed it in the diet 90 days pre-calving. Now here's Paul Mitchell with how we're using Pharmatan both pre and post-weaning in our calves.
A lot of guys are using the Pharmatan both for coccidia control, and then excellent to help with that transition to solid feed and seeing their weights really hold up as they put cattle through their weaning ration and to a higher energy diet.
Head to ImageneIngredients.com.
Cattle Battle.
The Ranch It Up radio show. It's the most information packed into a 30-minute program that you can find. It's your all things ranching newscast, and so glad that you're hanging out with us. Questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, rants, it doesn't matter. Give us a call, or you can text us at 707-726-2420. That's 707-RANCH-20. Got it? 707-RANCH-20. You can email us, ranchitupshow@gmail.com, and we're prowling around social media at Ranch It Up Show. Now, going forward, pretty near every week, we will be highlighting different options of selling livestock, cattle, cows, feeders, pairs, etc. And here's the best advice that I can give. Utilize as many of these tools as possible. Get those feeder calves verified through maybe like the feeder profit calculator, for example. We're going to hear from Chip Kemp in the future. Are they top dollar calves? How about through allied feeding partners? How about utilizing your local sale barns? Utilizing technology. Did I mention utilizing technology? Did I mention use as many different options as you can? Market now and market early. Well, every week we hear from Mark Vanzi with Livestock Market, EquineMarket, and AuctionTime.com. And the successes that we hear about are real, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't matter if it's pairs, bred females, or good ranch horses, for example. And many have asked details about using LivestockMarket.com as a marketing option, and it really is that easy. Now, we are going to answer all of these questions and then some for you. Mark Vanzi joins us today for a bit more Q&A. Let's talk a little bit about the success that LivestockMarket.com has had on being a very viable marketing option for a lot of these bred females and cows that are out there.
Yeah, that's really been where we've kind of found our sweet spot. And I think where we filled a nice hole is bred stock cows. You know, there's a lot of online auctions out there, a lot of good ones, and a lot of them, of course, are focused on the feeder and stocker calf market, and that's great. But we kind of feel like, you know, the gap that's out there has just been an option on bred females. You know, we do a lot of bred heifers and stuff, but really the bread and butter is just bred stock cows. And we've done really, really well on them, especially if they're quality cattle. Obviously, you know, we sold that big set here last week. We actually did them in two separate drafts, the heavier set and the lighter set, but I think it was 52 head in total. And they averaged 2150, and they were all 3-year-old cows, you know, confirmed bred back to a nice registered bull. They were out of Missouri, and, you know, it's neat to see what the online marketing platform can do for you. The producer took all the videos and pictures himself, just sent them over to us. We popped them up on the online auction, sold the cows 2 weeks later, and a guy out of Oklahoma bought them. You know, and that's pretty neat to see, because that's a sale that probably wouldn't have happened at the local sale barn. And so it's nice to see that you're out there making connections for those guys.
And I looked at that link. I think it was actually through AuctionTime.com that I took a gander at it. 77 bids on this particular draft that you're talking about. That is impressive. 70. That's not 77 followers or views or whatever the case is. That's actually legitimate bids. 77 of them.
Yep. Yeah. No, the good cattle on there, man, they really, really roll. I mean, part of that is because all of our auctions are no reserve, which makes it a great place to buy. But it's, you know, we start those cows off at $100 a head, and it is a true no reserve sale. They're going to bring what they're going to bring. And we do it like that on purpose because of the result that it nets in the end, right? Like I said, those cows that you were looking at, they averaged 2150. That's what they sold for. And so you open them up at $100 a head, well, the first few bids, you know, $100, $200, $300, and so on, all the way up. But it makes it pretty exciting. It was definitely fun to watch those sell, because they went into overtime bidding for about 10 minutes after they were supposed to sell, guys fighting over them.
And I want to make sure that we mention to everybody that this is not just bred females. It seems that, like you said, you found a really wonderful little niche for people wanting to move a specific, class, if you will, of livestock. But let's not forget to put your feeder calves on there. It costs nothing. List your feeder calves. If, we talk a lot about, we throw some sheep on there. You mention to us every now and then when there's a sheep sale, when there's some club calves. The ranch horse deal has really, really grown on EquineMarket.com. So there's a lot of different options, and I got to throw AuctionTime in there too. So if you need a new skid steer, well, by golly, jump on there and you can do your shopping.
Yep, exactly. No, the feeder calves, that's a great point. I mean, the feeder calves are awesome. We don't do that many of them. Where we've kind of filled a niche there is on smaller lots, like less than truckload lots. The other big online auctions that everybody knows about. Obviously, those guys focus on these large growers that are going to, have 6 potloads of calves or more or whatever. And we have done just dandy on 23 head, and we only charge $1 a head to sell feeder and stocker calves on the auction. So you're never going to sell them anywhere cheaper than that.
So for that lot of 23 head, it costs $23.
Exactly.
Boom.
Exactly. And how hard is it? I mean, this, whoever wants to sell them drives out to the pasture on the UTV or whatever and takes a video real quick and takes about 5 pictures, and then sends them over to us. We got to get a weight on them. Obviously, that's kind of like the only, challenging part of doing the feeder calves on there. But if we can get a weight on them, guys haul them to town and get a sample weight, or if you got a scale at your place or whatever. But we get a weight on them and, do them by the pound on there. And they've done awesome. And guys, it's fun. It's easy. It's a pretty good deal. And at $1 a head, that's pretty hard to argue with,
And why not use it as an option? I mean, that's the thing there too. If you want to move them private treaty, I mean, that's the big thing, is it's another option. And that's what we always try to do each and every week, is to to be able to supply everyone with options, that we aren't locked into just one deal here, that there are a number of different marketing venues. But the deal is, we got to get out of the ATV and just start looking, and there are a number of them out there.
Right. And that's always what we've tried to be about, right? Is just helping the producer have different options. We're getting ready to come out with our magazine again.
That's right. I was gonna ask you about that. Tell us more about that.
Yeah. So starting here, the first, we printed a sample issue back in January. And it was a huge success, and we haven't printed since January. We just wanted to get it out there, take it to a bunch of stock shows, cattle shows, farm shows, things like that, so people could see what it was and what it's about. But now here we are again, getting closer to fall. We're going to start up regular print now. So our first issue, the issue date on it will be August 11th. You'll be able to pick that up basically anywhere that you pick up Tractor House. So this is like all your tractor supplies in the entire country. If you got a gas station or a feed store, co-op or sale barn in your neighborhood that carries Tractor House, they'll carry Livestock Market. And that's an option for producers too, specifically on the private treaty side. So if you're a guy that doesn't like to auction, and maybe you're in the seed stock market, or maybe you're just a commercial producer, like, it doesn't matter, you can post the cattle to the website as private treaty, and then those cattle will go in the magazine as well. So it's what makes it neat, what I really like about the publication, is it is cattle for sale today. It's not just a book advertising upcoming bull sales, and those are great too. Nothing wrong with that. But what people liked about this publication is it's got everything in it, like you said, from ranch horses to ads from seed stock breeders to commercial cattlemen, and there's actual cattle for sale. Here's a lot of 34 bred cows, short bred. They're going to calving window, and here's my asking price on them, $18.50 a head. Call me, you can buy them now. So it's we're pretty excited about that.
Hey, Mark, great to have you on the show each and every week. We appreciate it. So do our listeners. But a really big thank you for explaining one more time the process and letting us know about the magazine that's coming out. Now, if you would like a subscription to the magazine, you can contact Livestock Market directly at LivestockMarket.com and visit with Mark Vanzi himself, or you can holler at Beck and I, ranchitupshow@gmail.com. Call or text 707-726-2420. That's 707-RANCH-20. Call or text 24/7. Now stick around. We've got Kirk Donsbach is on hold as we speak. We're talking market recaps when we come back. Want to add just a little bit of spice to your event, your customer appreciation supper, your banquet, your meeting?
Oh, yeah.
Well, bring in us. Beck and I as your keynote speakers, hosts, MCs, a host couple. We'll make them laugh, even cry tears of joy. Call us today. The Ranch It Up radio show. It's all things ranching, cattle, cowboy, and markets, some history, lots of news and information, topics to help you put dollars back into your pocket. That's just a little bit of what you will hear each and every week, and we strive to bring you what you need. Now, if there is a subject that you want us to cover, a sale barn, say a producer you want us to talk to, get a hold of us anytime. Our email, ranchitupshow@gmail.com. Call or text us at 707-RANCH-20. And remember, it's your program, not ours.
On Beck TV, it's crunch time in the North Dakota Rodeo Association, and there is a lot of money and gold up for grabs. You can catch all the hot rodeo action on your TV live on Beck Sports or online at beck.tv.
LivestockMarket.com puts you in control when buying or selling commercial livestock, seed stock, or show stock. The easy-to-use online platform at LivestockMarket.com offers private treaty, online auction, and live auction internet bidding. Animals are sold before they ever leave your place. And with LivestockMarket.com, there's no middleman. Buyers connect directly with livestock and hay producers. There's no easier way to find buyers for cattle, sheep, goats, pigs, and hay. Sell on your terms today with LivestockMarket.com. Welcome back, everyone, to the Ranch It Up radio show. It's that time in the program where we check in with Kirk Donsbach, StoneX Financial Incorporated, and those people that have just found the Ranch It Up radio show. First time out of the chute. Congratulations. Glad you're going along this trip with us. And if you would like some more information, especially in regards to the market information, you can get Kirk's free newsletter by texting the word cattle, CATTLE, to 33777. I highly advise that you do that, especially when I have multiple conversations with people of should we do this, should we do that, should we look at it? Well, there's more to go in that than just second guessing, and Kirk will give you a real nice background on where you can start to educate yourself. So, Kirk, glad to have you with us. What happened last week? Let's wrap it up.
Thank you, Tigger. As of Friday, August 4th, August feeders closed at $249.52.5. That's up $3.72.5 on the week, with the CME feeder index also up $2.97 on the week. So cash rallied almost $3 also at $245.84. That leaves our basis, or the difference, a negative $3.68.5. August live cattle closed the week at $181.25. Up $2.80 on the week, with cash trading $180 in the south and $188 to $190.5 in the north, leaving our 5-area weighted average up 98 cents at $187.55. The basis for live cattle is a positive $6.65. That's pretty salty as we go into delivery for the August contract. Weekly slaughter was lower at 613,000. That's down 6,000 on a weekly basis and down 35,000 same week last year. Choice boxes are just barely holding that $3 level at $301.88, down 12 cents on the week. To wrap this all up, December corn closed the week at $4.97.5. That's down 33.5 on the week. We've got more tip back in Iowa and Illinois than we expected, but we have weather forecasts supporting late season development.
I tip my hat to you, from one legend to another.
Before we say fare thee well, we have a big old tip of the hat going out to all of you that are heading back to school. Sorry, folks, those that are losing their free labor from the summer.
And I know that we probably did this a time or two, but I mean, 'tis the season, because I know there's a lot of people that their kids are back in school here coming up in the next couple of days.
That's true. And actually already I know some kids like in Indiana, they already started. So other kids.
No.
I know. I think they start like the first Monday of August or something like that. And then those
Are you serious?
Yes.
Okay, somebody needs to weigh in on this. We need to double check on this and we'll pray for you. That's miserable. I mean, unless they're getting out like the 1st of April.
I don't think they're that lucky either.
Oh my goodness.
But then also those of you that get to wait until after Labor Day, consider you as one of those lucky buggers that get to hold off and enjoy these last few weeks of summer.
Well, lucky is subjective because many times those people that have to wait till after Labor Day, they are in school like on into June. But okay, yeah, enough about that, and that's going to wrap it up for today. A big thanks from our crew to yours, Kirk Donsbach with StoneX Financial Incorporated. You can get his free newsletter by texting the word cattle, CATTLE, to 33777. Mark Vanzi with Livestock Market and EquineMarket.com and AuctionTime.com. And, of course, to you, the Boss Lady Rebecca Wanner, a.k.a. Beck.
A big thank you goes out to our partners, the American Galvay Association, the Tri-State Livestock News, the Farmer and Rancher Exchange, and the Fence Post, Westway Feed Products, Medora Boot and Western Wear, Dakota Cowboy, Allied Genetic Resources, LivestockMarket.com, EquineMarket.com, AuctionTime.com, RFD TV, and Wrangler.
And now, crew, so glad y'all came with us one more time as we ranch it up. Be sure to follow and like us on Facebook at Ranch It Up Show. Follow us along there because we have many updates and posts, I guess is the proper social media word to say, throughout the week. Our email, ranchitupshow@gmail.com. You can call and you can text us 24/7 at 707-726-2420. It's 707-RANCH-20. Spread the good word and join us again next week, where it's always Tigger approved.
Stay ranchy and ranch it up.